morning.
Morning.
Can you please state your full name for the record, spelling your last?
It's Richard Amundson, Amundsen.
And what do you do for work?
I'm an investigative sergeant with the Crosse County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
Since 1998.
And how long have you been an investigative sergeant?
Almost 2 years.
So at the beginning of this case, your title was investigator, correct?
Correct, I was a deputy investigator.
Can you just explain for us a little bit about the structure of your department?
Sure. There's 3 different divisions really in the Sheriff's Office. You've got the jail, and then you have patrol operations and then investigations. I worked in patrol for the start of my career all the way into late 2000, and then I was promoted to deputy investigator. The investigative division is typically has 2 deputy investigators, 2 investigative sergeants, and then a deputy, or I should say investigator administrator. It was a captain. That would have been Captain Siegel, who was elected sheriff, and then he restructured and made that position a lieutenant investigator.
So have there been a lot of changes in your department since this case started?
Yes.
Fair to say, I think besides Lieutenant Williams, you are the only member of the Investigative Bureau still there from 2013. Everyone else is retired at this point?
Yes, last man standing.
But you have been actively involved in this case since the beginning, correct?
Yes.
Not the only one involved, but been there throughout.
Correct.
You touched a little bit on your previous law enforcement experience. How long were you in patrol?
I had worked the road as a patrol deputy since 1998 till almost 2020.
And do you have specific experience in investigation of cases involving drugs?
Yes.
Can you explain that for us just briefly?
When I was on patrol, I actually went to, in 2002, I became a DRE, which is a drug recognition expert. It's geared towards impaired driving under 7 different categories of drugs, some legal, some illegal, some prescriptions. In 2006, I became a DRE instructor. That has since lapsed in 2018, so I'm no longer certified as a DRE. I've also attended numerous drug investigation schools throughout my career, and then once in the investigative division, I also attended a 2-week drug investigation school that was put on by the Wisconsin Department of Justice that's specific to both legal and illicit drug investigations.
And you were assigned to assist in the death investigation of Xavier Pedron, correct?
Yes.
And when did you receive this assignment?
It would have been the morning of February 11th, 2023. I received a phone call from Lieutenant Williams that there was a child death and he needed me to respond in.
What initial information were you given?
The initial information I was given was that there was a deceased 6-year-old, Xavier Pedron, at the address of W5512 County Road OS in the town of Madary, and that I needed to head to the office to work on a search warrant.
That was your first task?
Yes.
Related to this call, were you or are you aware of your department's response time when you're talking about when the call came in to 911 to when officers were on scene?
Yes, arriving deputies would be Deputy Anderson and Jar got there about within 30 seconds of being dispatched to the call, which is very unusual.
What's the jurisdiction that your agency patrols?
Well, we patrol all of La Crosse County. We try not to do a lot of enforcement in municipalities such as the city of La Crosse or city of Onalaska, but we do have jurisdiction in all those areas. We assist where we need to, but our county is quite large. We may be in Burr Oak, or we may be in the town of Washington, which is quite some distance away. This call would have been in what we call our center patrol, and they could have been as far east as Rockland at the Monroe County line, which would have taken an extended period of time to get there.
Do you remember approximately what time you began your search warrant process?
I began the process when I got to the office. That involves composing a face sheet for the residential search warrant, the description of the residence and the items that we wish to look for, document. And then I began, I believe, the oral testimony around 11:40 a.m. with the Honorable Scott Horn and yourself.
So that's something where you provide testimony to a judge?
Correct.
And based on your knowledge of the investigation, would you have been applying for that search warrant approximately the same time that Lieutenant Williams was interviewing Ms. Dikeman?
Yes.
What initial information did you have when you were applying for that search warrant about what deputies on scene had observed?
Right. I had spoken with Deputy Anderson. He gave me the basic layout of what they found, what had occurred upon their arrival, what they found as far as a empty prescription pill bottle. I learned about the previous welfare check from the night before where Derek Pedron had been arrested. I took all that information.
Were you also aware of Mr. Pedron's recent domestic history?
I don't know if I was aware of all of the history, but I was aware that he had been on bond for a domestic incident.
And did you include that information in your application and testimony for the search warrant?
Yes.
Were you also aware at that time that Ms. Dikeman had some history related to neglect allegations?
Yes, I was aware of the 2011 and 2013 incidents.
And at that point, you knew that the pill or a pill bottle had been found near the child, correct?
Correct.
Given that, did you limit your scope to just legally prescribed medication at that point?
No, I did not. In any death investigation, especially one like this, you want to have a wide brush to be able to look for things. So the warrant included both legal prescriptions that don't belong to anybody that resides there, illegal drugs. We kept it pretty broad.
You're aware of the possibilities related to what the child could have overdosed on if it was an overdose?
Right. I didn't know what the child overdosed on, so we wanted to be able to collect anything that could possibly be related.
And that search warrant was granted?
Yes.
And what did you do after that?
After the search warrant was granted, I made copies like I'm supposed to, and then I went out to the incident location.
When you arrived, were you briefed by other deputies about what they had observed on scene?
Yes, I was first briefed by Lieutenant Williams. I had some of the details of his interview with Josie Dikeman. I was assigned to go inside and take a look at the scene and start to execute the search warrant. The first thing I did was talk to Deputy Anderson and Jar to get more the layout, where people were positioned, where things were at, once they had arrived on scene, to try to get an overall picture.
And when you are arriving at a scene like this and about to process it, how do you determine what items to photograph and or what items to seize at the location?
Well, you have to take into account of what the call is, what the facts we know at the time. In this case, I did assign Deputy Jar to make sure that he photographed the entire house, the inside, the outside, doors, windows, all of those things. And then once we began the search, I had other assignments for Deputy Anderson and Jar.
Was this the only search warrant that your agency executed on the residence?
No.
A second warrant was done?
Yes, a second residential search warrant was conducted.
When was that done?
That would have been on February 14th of 2023, I believe.
And what was the purpose of that secondary warrant?
That secondary warrant was to have the TRU unit, which is the Wisconsin State Patrol Technical Reconstruction Unit. They have equipment, scanning equipment that can make 3D models of the residence and the interior. It was also to get the micro SD cards out of 2 cameras that were at the residence.
Investigative Sergeant, I'm going to hand you a stack of exhibits, and we'll go through them one by one, okay? First look at Exhibit 81. What is this?
This is a photo of the main level of W5512 County Road OS.
And is it kind of a bird's eye view based on the layout of the home?
Yes.
Was this one of the images that was generated when the TRU was there?
Yes.
And does it show a true and accurate reflection of what the operators there and the equipment captured on the 14th of February?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move Exhibit 81 into evidence and ask that it be published.
Objection. Received, can be published. 81 is already used. Uh-oh.
Can we do 81A for now, and I'll fix that later, Judge?
Sure. Yeah, let's call it 81A.
I apologize.
That's.
You had 81 and 82 already used.
So 82A, or we'll just start with 81A and then 82A, and then the rest should be okay, hopefully.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what has been newly determined to be Exhibit 81A. And so this is kind of that overall look of the home from the top down, correct?
Correct.
And part of the reason they do or use technology is because it could be helpful in situations like this where we're having to talk about an event years and years later, correct?
Correct.
This image may not be the most helpful when we're trying to pinpoint things. So.
Correct.
And I jumped the lead here. Based on this, did we create a more general and easy to follow layout that follows the constructs of the layout that was provided through the TRU process?
Yes.
And is this something that was prepared by engineers?
I don't know that they're engineers at the TRE unit, but.
I mean the diagram that we prepared for trial.
Not quite engineer level, but we tried.
But based on your review of the TRU data, the body cam you've reviewed, and your knowledge of the home through the search warrants you executed, does it fairly and accurately depict kind of the general layout of the home?
It does.
Your Honor, I would move to admit Exhibit 82A and request to publish.
Any objection?
With the understanding that it's not an architectural recreation and that the dimensions are not precise, no objection.
Okay.
Stipulate that it's not even close to that, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, so 82A will be received, it can be published, understanding it's not architectural level.
Okay. Investigative Sergeant, do you have the laser pointer up there with you?
I do.
From your understanding, can you just point out to the jury the general layout that we're looking at here of the home?
So this is the front door here, where you saw Deputy Jar knocking and was led into the dining room / Josie Dikeman's bedroom. Right about in here is where Alexavier Pedron was laying. And then there's French doors here that I believe were closed and then later opened. And that leads into like a living room here. There's a TV, a couch where Derek Pedron had usually slept, and then a buffet kind of table with 4 chairs with some cereal and food on it. As you walk through there, then you enter into the kitchen. The stove is about in here, I believe. And then up in here is where there's a camera that faces down into the kitchen. If you make an immediate left, there's a small hallway. That wall is there, and those are the stairs that go down to the basement. If you come out of the kitchen, this is where the red sheet would be. That sheet is the one that provides a piece of concealment from that room. If you turn left, those are the carpeted stairs that go upstairs to the 2nd story of the residence, where there's some kids' beds and bedrooms up there. To the immediate right here, this is a bathroom with a full tub, toilet, sink. This is just like a little pantry closet right here. Here's Major's bedroom. This is where Major's bed is, you know, to look over this way. And this is the other bedroom that I think they talked about laundry being done and things like that in there.
And then, oh, go ahead, sorry.
This is the back door that you saw in the previous video where Sergeant Kernine and Deputy Paff were at, where they had knocked, because there's a wraparound deck that comes up over this way.
And while you were processing the scene that day, did you have a body cam on?
Yes,
And it was recording?
yes.
And at some point, did you conduct a walkthrough of the home that visualized most of the areas on all 3 floors?
Yes.
And Your Honor, I'd move for the admission and request to publish 2 separate portions of the body camera, one from Investigative Sergeant's body camera, 2 with time stamps of 1 hour, 0 minutes and 32 seconds to 1 hour, 3 minutes and 37 seconds. The second excerpt being from his body cam 3, starting from 9 seconds and going to 3 minutes and 49 seconds. I am going to request, Your Honor, that I just play these without sound for the purpose of what they're being admitted for.
Any objection?
No.
Okay. Go ahead and play those 2 clips. And this is Exhibit 5, if I remember. Maybe I'm wrong.
This is Exhibit 107, Judge.
107, I'm sorry. 107.
I'm just going to pause this right here at 3 seconds. Can you tell us where kind of you started from and where you're going, just so we can kind of get our wits about us here?
This is just as I enter into that living dining room area from the French doors. Those have been opened up, and now I'm entering into that area where in the upper left, you can kind of see that couch where Derek Pedron would sleep. That's where we're at.
And then what room are you walking into now?
I just entered into the kitchen. And then on the left-hand side of the screen there, you can kind of see the entrance to the basement stairs. That's right where that is. There's a little gray kind of covering there, or curtain you can kind of see.
And for the record, I paused this at 27 seconds. Then what room are we in now?
Major's bedroom.
Paused at 1 minute 19 seconds. I'll replay. So before we talk about the room that we're in right now, I'll note that we're at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. What was that area you just walked through?
That was the sleeping area for Araya, I believe, in Brantley.
And then what room are we in now?
Jaylen's.
Start again here. I'm going to pause here at 2 minutes and 47 seconds. And it may be hard to see if you can use the laser pointer. Is there something mounted above the wall, above the raised car bed?
Yes, right up in here, there's actually a motion camera.
Where you pause that, Ms. Rude?
2 minutes and 47 seconds. Start again. End of the first clip, play the second. And then where are you looking at this point? Paused at 54 seconds.
I pulled back the red curtain and peering back into the other access to Josie Dikeman's bedroom.
And it has some items on top of it, but what is the piece of furniture we're looking right at?
I believe where the lamp is at is right adjacent to the left side of Josie Dikeman's bed.
Start here. Stopped at 1 minute and 20 seconds. What are we looking at now?
This is the entrance to reach the basement stairs.
Start. And are we now in the basement?
Correct, we're in the basement.
I paused at 1 minute and 48 seconds. What are we looking at in front of here?
There's a mattress on the floor with a sleeping bag on it.
Were you provided information as to whether or not anybody slept in the basement?
Section hearsay.
Sustain.
Continue. Investigative Sergeant, I think there's already been testimony that this may have been a difficult scene to process. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And at some point, did you realize that there might be more to this investigation than looking into an overdose?
At this point, we were looking at an overdose situation.
At what point did things change?
I think things started changing Once I had done the initial part of the scene and got Beth Lubinsky, the medical examiner, inside, and we started to examine Alex Xavier's body.
I want to go over some photos specific to the room that Alex was found in, and then we'll move into other parts of the home.
Okay.
And Your Honor, to the pretrial stipulation, I'd like to move exhibits 83 to 106 into evidence. They're all photos of the home taken by law enforcement.
Objection? So 83 to 106, did you?
No objection for the pretrial stipulation. I note that a couple of these appear to already be in evidence in our exhibits.
Okay, well, receive them all. Let's go ahead.
Thank you. Investigative Sergeant, what are we looking at exhibit 83?
The entrance from the front door into the residence.
And on to exhibit 84. Looking at here.
Just Miss Dikeman's bedroom looking out towards the front.
Moving to exhibit 85, can you tell me what we're looking at here?
A dresser and television that were across from Miss Dikeman's bed, be on the same wall as the front door.
And about an 86?
The couch that was in Miss Dikeman's bedroom, the left of.
This couch, Alex, seen on by Sergeant Crane the night prior.
Yes.
Moving to exhibit 87, what are we looking at here?
That's just the right of the couch, that Josie bed, the left of the cabinet, three-drawer cabinet. We're right at the French doors then that lead to the area.
If you can tell, just move on actually to exhibit 88. What are we looking at here?
Those are prescription medications on the night adjacent to the bed.
Moving to exhibit 89. What are we looking at here?
From the foot of Josie Dikeman's bed, looking towards the curtain-covered doorway.
And 90.
That's a closer shot to the left side of Josie's bed, the white three-drawer thing and a nightstand, something similar to that right to the left of it.
And can you show us in this photo where the bottom exhibit?
Right here.
Moving to 91, is this just another similar to one we've seen?
Correct. That's from the foot of Josie Dikeman's bed, focused towards the back right corner of the bedroom.
2.
That picture of Josie Dikeman's bed looking straight to the French door area.
And then Exhibit 3.
It's a covered body of Xavier.
90. What is this?
That is a photo taken on top of Josie Dikeman's bed of the prescription pill bottle that Deputy Anderson and Jar located when they arrived.
Moving to Exhibit 95.
It's a real shot of the open contains prescription medications that was supplied by Deputy Anderson and Jar.
Is this the bag that was located near the body when enforcement arrived?
Yes.
Moving to Exhibit 96, can you tell us what at here?
A top-down photograph of the bathtub with soiled underwear.
Did anyone, or did Ms. Dikeman inform Lieutenant Williams in her interview that Alex had had a toileting accident before responded?
No.
She did talk about a stomach ache, correct?
Yes.
And reported vomiting to others?
I believe so, yes.
What are we looking at here in Exhibit 97?
A top-down view of the bathroom with some water.
Have we switched gears here? 88.
That's the top stairs entering into the where Araya and Brantley slept, and then in the upper left corner shows, or I should say in the middle here, shows that camera.
Indicate for the record that it reverted to the still image.
Apologize, I will restart the video.
Yeah, and just,
Whenever you're ready.
media, you may want to just use the audio in this. Obviously, there's Alex's body's in it. So.
Thank you, Judge.
You get this one?
Put them all on the same bag. Get one in. Let's see if it fits in there. I don't think the same substance, doesn't it?
It kind of does.
Looks like cotton candy. That's not.
The other thing I'm wondering.
I haven't seen a cotton candy bag.
So just a blue substance on the red pillow on the right-hand side of the bed.
Okay.
Can you explain for us what we just watched here?
What we were doing here, we're trying to process the area of the bed first because I know that we have to make more room for the medical examiner and her staff and us to examine Alex's body closer. So in processing that, I'm looking in this video that there was a blue flake of something on the pillow. I collect it, label it an unknown blue substance, and then I'm starting to look down even further along the bed, and I start noticing more and more of this blue substance that it appeared to be sugary, like cotton candy or frosting, something similar to that.
And how many pieces of that did you recover from the pillow?
2.
And was that you measuring in the video?
Yes.
And was that, or who was taking photos?
Deputy Jar was taking photos, so it's good practice when you go to collect a piece of evidence that you have a photo taken just prior to that collection, and then the ruler was there for scale to show how big of a piece that substance was as well.
I think there's actually a comment made about no one or someone not seeing a cotton candy bag.
Yes, that comment was made by Deputy Anderson.
And when you were looking towards that area in the doorway, what were you specifically looking at there?
I was noticing more pieces and larger pieces of that blue substance, same color, same kind of texture around that area of the floor and further on.
If I can have the display again, please. We'll see how this works. I'm going to republish what's already been put into evidence as Exhibit 57 and published previously. Is this the blue substance, or can you point out the blue substance you were looking at in that video?
Right, it's a blue turquoise kind of color. So right here, there's some there, a little piece there.
Did you find more of this substance throughout the house?
Yes.
Was it just located kind of in this immediate area?
No, the same substance, there's another bigger piece just inside the living room from the bedroom. There's also some on a stove, and then there's another piece that was even found outside on the deck.
Moving to Exhibit 104, what are we looking at here?
That's a Domino's pizza box on top of the stove. The front left burner also has what appears to be the same substance right here on the burner. Same color, same texture.
And I'm going to check you for color blindness. Can you tell me what colors are on that Domino's pizza box?
White, red, blue.
We will move on to Exhibit 105. Where are we in this photo?
That's on the back deck of the residence. You can see like a bucket used as a garbage can, a can of Red Bull, and then that same cotton candy-like substance.
And in Exhibit 106, what are we looking at here?
This is a picture of the kitchen and the kitchen counter.
And is there anything relevant in this photo to the blue substance?
Right, there's an empty container of cotton candy.
If I can have the Elmo quickly. Thank you. I'm going to republish Exhibit 239. Sergeant, do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
And specifically, do you recall the blue substance on the pajama pants that we're looking at here?
Yes,
Can you point out where that is for the jury?
sure. This is the back right leg of the pajama pants that Alex Xavier Pedram was wearing at his death.
And have you observed these pants in person?
Yes,
Is the substance on those pants that you just pointed out to also consistent with the other blue substance you were finding throughout the home?
yes.
If you're about to go to a different section, might be a good time for a break.
Sounds great, Judge.
Looks like everybody is present. Just want to make sure you're ready. Hey,
Yes, Judge, thank you.
okay. Anything we need to talk about before we continue with the testimony? From the state's perspective?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, why don't you come up and take the stand?
Judge, one thing I'll put on the record is I talked to Ms. Rude, and I agreed that I won't object to her Exhibit 112 so long as it's clarified that Jalen and Major were residing in the home part-time during the time frame that they were designated on that chart.
I indicated that that's one of the questions I intend to ask Sergeant Amundson, so we should be good to go.
Okay, so that hasn't been submitted yet, 112?
No.
Yeah, okay. All right, come on, have this in. We'll bring the jury in. Okay, everybody have a seat. We'll go ahead with the continued direct. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Sergeant Amundson, did you identify and log the 4 medication bottles that Ms. Dikeman had next to her bed in the room where Alex was found deceased?
Yes,
And did you create a table in order to document the type and name and dose of those medications?
yes,
If I can have you flip in your stack to Exhibit 108. You recognize this document?
yes.
What is it?
That's the table for the medication next to the bed.
And is it a true and accurate reflection of what you saw in the home and documented that day?
Yes,
Your Honor, I would move Exhibit 108 into evidence and request to publish, please.
No objection.
Received?
Doing great after lunch. There we go. Is this what you documented?
yes,
And I am not going to ask you to read the names of these medications, but none of these are Xanax or alprazolam, correct?
correct.
And how did you identify the medication that was in the unlabeled bottle?
The medication had score marks on it. You can see where it says the name, the GG 335/100. You're able to look that up through a pharmaceutical resource to identify the drug.
And those other three medications were all in bottles that indicated they were prescribed to Ms. Dikeman.
Yes,
What about the medication in the fourth bottle?
there was no label on the bottle.
Were all of them sealed?
Yes, there was caps on them all.
Investigator, do you recall if the child safety locks were engaged?
I believe so, yes. They weren't flipped around for easy unscrew. You actually had to push down on a tab or push down on the top to be able to open it.
Did you also log and identify all the medication that was found in the bag near Alex?
Yes,
And did you also prepare a table that identified and listed those medications?
yes,
You turn to Exhibit 109. Do you recognize that document?
yes, I do.
What is it?
That is the tables for the medications found in the brown bag found adjacent to Alex Xavier.
And is it a true and accurate reflection of what you identified and logged that day?
Yes,
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 109 and request publication.
Judge, I'm going to object to 18, lack of foundation for how that was identified.
Oh, 18,
Number 18 on Exhibit 109.
okay.
I can ask a follow-up question, Judge.
Yeah, go ahead.
How was the medication in item number 18 identified when you were logging it into evidence?
by the score marks on it.
Tell me a little bit more about that process. How do you determine that with the score marks?
Well, each prescription drug has identifying information on it that you're able to look up through a pharmaceutical resource to see what the tablet or capsule is.
Is that something that when you are documenting evidence like this, you rely on customarily to identify medication if it's not in a properly labeled container?
Yes.
And does the information given to you when you check those score marks tell you both what the name and dosage of the medication is?
Yes.
Or I think that lays sufficient foundation. I realize you don't have a copy of this document in front of you, so you don't know what we're talking about. We can sidebar if necessary, though.
Judge, I guess I would ask if we could identify what this pharmaceutical resource was.
rxlist.com.
I didn't ask the question, so.
Okay.
Can you please identify the source you used to identify the medication?
rxlist.com.
Any objection now?
No.
Okay, it'll be received.
Can I publish, Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead.
Are these the medications that you identified in the bag?
Yes.
And were all of these medications sealed? Were there caps on?
No, number 18 was not in a prescription pill bottle.
Besides number 18, were all their caps on?
Yes.
Were the safety child locks engaged on those?
Except for the last one under 21, that bottle did not have a cap on it.
And when you say that the exception exists for number 18, can you explain that for us a little bit?
Yes. When I searched the contents of the bag, I pulled out each bottle individually. counted the number of pills compared to what the prescription label said, documented that, and then as I got down to the very end of that process, I located the 10 loose prescription pills for prednisone in the bottom of the bag.
Were there any other loose medications in the bottom of the bag?
No,
And did the both name of the medication and dosage of the medication match the name and dosage of the medication that was labeled on the bottle that was found next to Alex?
yes,
And did the, strike that one, move. I'll ask that in a moment. Were all of the medications in that bag prescribed either to Ms. Dikeman or to Zayden Taylors?
except one was either Josie Dikeman, I'm sorry, two, I couldn't determine. That would be number 8 and number 21.
Were all of the medications in the bottles, did they match what the label was for the medication?
Yes,
Sergeant, I am going to bring up some physical evidence to you.
I did find a typo here.
Please correct that for the record.
I'd have to refer to my report, but number 12, it says 22 of, and looks like we forgot to put that other number in.
But from your recollection, the number of pills or the type of pills matched the both dosage amount and the name for the medication?
Yes,
Were any of these medications either Xanax or alprazolam?
no,
Can you tell me what is located in the bag in front of you?
I refer to it by exhibit number.
I don't have one on it yet. I will in a moment.
this brown paper bag contains an evidence label. When I logged in, the Chaps brown bag containing RX pill bottles.
And is this the bag of medication that your team recovered on the 11th of February, 2023?
Yes,
And was it packaged at the scene and logged into evidence?
yes,
Has it been maintained in your, or with your agency ever since?
yes,
You have rules and protocols for how evidence is handled, and if necessary, transferred to a different agency for testing or something like that?
yes.
I am going to bring up an exhibit sticker and mark it with exhibit 110. And Sergeant, is the condition and contents of this piece of evidence in the same general condition and an accurate reflection of what you collected on scene that day?
Yes,
Your Honor, I would move Exhibit 110 into evidence and ask that it be published to the jury. I think specifically certain items there, Judge. I don't know if you prefer to have him open it first and then we can go into that.
Can they publish all the items?
They can publish the items. I would like to have evidentiary protocol observed with glove changes between items that might contain forensic evidence.
All right. You want glove changes?
If we're handling multiple items that might be subject to forensic evidence testing, yes.
Okay. What items are in there? Do we know what items are in there?
Yes, Your Honor, this is he read the CHAPS bag with the medication inside of it.
So is it just a bag with all the medications in it?
That's correct.
I mean, if the goal is just to have the jury look inside of the bag, I'm fine with that so long as Sergeant Amundson's wearing gloves. But like if we're going to be pulling out and moving evidence around, then I would like evidentiary practices observed.
There are 2 items I'll want taken out of the bag, Your Honor.
Okay. So we have gloves.
I have gloves.
You have gloves too?
Yeah, those won't fit me.
Oh,
Came prepared, Your Honor.
all right.
And Sergeant, if I can have you begin when you open the bag by taking out the 10 prednisone pills that you have identified as item number 12 on your table, please.
So just so it's clear, it's being received, it'll be allowed to be published.
And are those the prednisone pills?
Yes.
Is there a separate evidence label on that package?
No.
And again, where were those pills located when you did your search of the residence?
In the bottom of this brown bag.
And those were the only pills that were loose in that bag?
Yes.
Can you, from your recollection, describe those pills?
I believe they are a round, peachy colored, chalky, uncoated tablet.
Sergeant Amundson, can I have you open the top of that envelope and explain for the jury what you're seeing inside? I'll have you take a field trip in a minute with them, but.
I'm seeing the 10 round, peach, chalky kind of prednisone pills.
And when you describe them as chalky, what do you mean by that?
What I mean is that they don't have a good coating on them. Prescription drugs, some have better coatings than others.
Would it be best, Your Honor, to have him just walk in front of the jury to publish those?
I'd like to take a look at it first, just to make
Go
sure it's
ahead.
the same thing we're talking about.
Yes, I guess, I'm not sure you can put them in your hand or what, but, and then,
I think they're pretty visible inside of the evidence container.
okay. Oh, you could put them up to the Elmo. Does that make sense or no?
I mean, if light's needed, certainly, pulling along my phone, or if you have a flashlight, we can do that.
Put them in his hand.
Yeah, no objection if he wants to put the
might be easier to put it under the elbow with your hand, actually. I'm not sure. Go ahead. You show it to the jury if you want.
Go ahead and seal those.
That was marked 112.
110. And then Sergeant Amundson, can I please have you pull out the bottle of oxycodone that is labeled as being in that bag?
For the record, I'm observing Sergeant Amundson changing gloves.
Excuse me.
I don't think I'll be able to identify that without removing the contents on how they're piled in there.
Without removing all the contents?
Correct.
Why don't we go ahead and have you line them up then? Are you okay with him?
So long as we identify on the record that all of the contents are being handled and then lined up and placed on an lined surface in the courtroom here.
Okay. Pull them out, put them on the, I guess on the, just on the, right there.
And can you identify the bottle of oxycodone?
Yes.
Can you read the label on that bottle for me?
It's prescribed to Josie Dikeman, 505 North 7th Street, Brownsville, Minnesota. The prescription is oxycodone 5 milligram immediate release tabs. Take 1 tablet, 5 milligrams by mouth every 4 hours as needed for pain for up to 14 days. The prescription number is 4822685-03498 with a quantity of 30, no refills, from Walgreens at 900 West Avenue South, La Crosse, Wisconsin, 54601, phone number 608-796-2058. Looks like the prescriber was Michael McCormick, PA, used before 5/17 of 22 and filled on 5/17 of 21. The description of the medicine is a round white tablet. Side 1 is scored M with brackets around the M. Side 2 is scored 05/52. May make you drowsy or dizzy. Do not drink alcohol with this drug. Use care when operating a vehicle, vessel, or other machines. Taking more of this medication than recommended may cause serious breathing problems.
Thank you. I think given that you've emptied the bag, we don't need to have you do another Vanna White moment. So if you want to put those back in and package them up, I would be appreciative. Thank you.
So the evidentiary practices are observed in the record, Judge. The same pair of gloves was used. Same pair of gloves was used to both remove and place the medication bottles back into the bag. It appeared that something fell on the floor in the midst of that. The surface that Sergeant Amundson had the pill bottles lined up on was the wood around the witness box. There was no sheet of evidence paper placed beneath it.
Go ahead.
Do you have another piece of evidence up there with you, Sergeant Amundson?
Yes.
I'm going to bring you up an exhibit sticker. It'll be Exhibit 111. And can you please read the evidence label that's affixed to that package?
Prescription pill bottle for prednisone, empty.
Was this piece of evidence also something that you collected and processed as part of the search warrant on the 11th of February?
Yes.
And where was this piece of evidence located when you processed it?
When I collected it, it was on the right-hand side on top of Josie Dikeman's bed.
And it was also logged into evidence
Yes.
and maintained in your agency's usual practice with items of evidence?
Yes.
And is it in the same general condition and an accurate reflection of what you collected during the search warrant?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move Exhibit 111 into evidence.
No objection.
Received.
And before I have you publish this, Sergeant, can you please read the label on it? Actually, go ahead.
It would be easier out of the package.
That was going to be my question. Go ahead and do that. Your Honor, I can make a record about the reason why it should come out. For one, it's easier to read. The other is there have been some questions about the condition on the inside of the bottle. I think that's also easy for the jury to view if it's outside the evidence bag.
Now we also, the investigators Lieutenant investigator, excuse me. putting on gloves. Go ahead. Any objection?
No, I'm late to the use of photographs if the state wanted to, if that's easier, but if we want, we can take it out.
Go ahead and take it out.
Okay, it's out.
Go ahead and read the label, please. Thank you.
Okay, this is prescribed to Josie Dikeman, 505 North 7th Street, Brownsville, Minnesota, then 55191607. Prednisone 20 milligram tablets. Take one tablet twice daily for 4 days, then one tablet daily for 4 days. Prescription number 4753215-03498. Quantity 12. No refills. Doctor authorization required. Walgreens at 900 West Avenue South, La Crosse, Wisconsin, 54601. Phone number 608-796-2058. Date 1/22 of 21. Used before 1/22 of 22. Aaron Zivney is the DO. It's described as a round peach tablet. Side 1 is scored 5443. Side 2 is scored DAN, space DAN. This medicine may lower your ability to fight off infections, avoid contact with people. I can't make that word out. Contagious disease, take with food or milk.
And is that score you just read consistent with the score of the pills that were located in the bottom of the bag?
Yes.
You mentioned not being able to read a word on the label. How would you describe the general condition of the label?
Worn, smudged and tattered.
Was prescribed in 2021, correct?
1/22 of 21.
And how would you describe the condition of the inside of the bottle?
Empty, with the same kind of chalky residue like I had on my glove when I opened up the envelope that had the 10 in there.
And when this was located, the top was off the bottle, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I asked that he be allowed to walk along the jury box again to publish.
No objection. I just want to take a quick look first.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead then.
Thank you. According to Ms. Dikeman's statement, this is a bag that had moved with her from Brownsville, Minnesota, correct?
Yes.
Fair to say that, the medication in there, when you pick it up, can move pretty freely?
Yes.
Then those bottles are laying against lots of other medicine bottles as they're being carried or whatever is being done to transport it.
Yes.
And I believe you said you found the characteristic of the prednisone pills you published previously to be chalky, is that correct?
Yes,
Not capsules.
they are not capsule, they're pills.
And remind me again, the quantity of the prednisone pills that were found on the bottom of the bag was?
10.
And the quantity of pills on the label for the bottle found next to Alex's body was what number?
12.
Sergeant, when you were conducting the search warrant of the home, did you observe cameras in the home?
Yes.
And where did you observe those cameras to be?
I observed the camera in the second story, the one that was pointed out on where Zayden and Araya, not Zayden, I'm sorry, I misspoke, Brantley and Araya would be. And then there was another camera located in the kitchen on top of the kitchen cabinet, face down at a downward angle.
Did you collect anything related to those cameras on the 11th of February?
No, I had to climb up on top of the stool or something, I don't remember what I used, but to reach the other camera in the kitchen. I looked at it and I did see a micro SD card, and then in the scheme of things of doing everything, I failed to collect it that day.
You did close the search warrant on the home that day, correct?
Yes.
And at the conclusion of that, was a decision made to have an autopsy done?
Yes.
Do you recall the date that was scheduled for?
That was Monday, February 13th.
Did you do any more investigative tasks yet that weekend?
Yes. On Sunday, February 12th, we arranged to have the forensic interviews done of children that were present.
On a Sunday?
Yes.
Why so quickly?
We felt it was important in this case to do the forensic interviews as quickly as possible to get the most accurate information from the children, to make sure there's no coaching. There was a protective plan put in place by CPS. And if this was if this didn't turn into a criminal matter, we wanted to make sure we could get those interviews done and back to the mother as quickly as possible as well.
Who had forensic interviews done on the 12th?
I believe that was Brantley and Araya and Major.
And were you present for those interviews?
Yes.
Were you present when the children were brought in for those interviews?
Yes.
Who brought in Brantley and Araya for their interviews?
Brantley and Araya were brought in by Ann Ehlers, their great aunt.
That would be Becky Ehler's sister.
Yes.
And who brought in Major?
Major was brought in by his grandmother, Cheryl Anderson.
Jalen was also living in the home at that time, correct?
I believe she was living there part-time, yes.
And was an interview of Jalen completed that weekend too?
It was not.
Do you know why?
She was not at the home at the time of Alex's death. She was staying with Becky Ehlers, her grandmother.
Was one eventually done?
Yes.
How much later did that happen?
I believe that occurred March 2nd or 3rd of 2023.
Did you try to have a forensic interview of Jalen done before that date?
We did.
Why didn't that happen?
There was some mental health concerns There was some barriers dealing with Rebecca Ehlers, the grandmother, scheduling, so we had to work through those before we could get that done.
Eventually, though, by early March, Jalen was also interviewed.
Yes.
If I can have you, do you still have your exhibits in front of you?
I do.
Have you turn to Exhibit 112, please? Recognize this document?
I do.
And based on your knowledge of this investigation, do you have an understanding of the children involved in this case?
I do.
Does that include who their parents are?
Yes.
And generally where they were living in February of 2023?
Yes.
And are there indications on the document you're looking at as to whether or not a child listed was living with Derek and Josie at that time, February of 2023?
There's a star following their age.
Were Major Hellrude and Jalen Barnes living with Josie and Derek full-time in February of 2023?
No.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of Exhibit 112 and request to publish.
No objection with that caveat.
Okay. Go ahead and publish. It's received and published.
Sergeant, can you describe here what we're looking at?
I think it's easy to start with the black boxes. So you have Josie, Derek, and Jenna. And then you can see the line going above Josie. Those are children that Josie has with no one listed in this case, or in this diagram. That's Zayden, who was 13 in 2023. Jaylyn, that was 10, only staying there part-time in 2023. Major, who was 8 and only staying there part-time in 2023. Then you have Josie and Derek with the points going down to Brantley, age 5, and Araya, age 4. Josie is the biological mother of those two, and Derek is the biological father of those two. Just to the right of that, you have Derek is the biological father, and Jenna, Love, is the biological mother of Aubrey, age 14 in 2023, and Alex Xavier, age 6 in 2023.
And Sergeant, are you aware where Aubrey was living in February of 2023?
I believe she was living with Cheryl Anderson, grandmother.
Did you attend the autopsy that was conducted on the 13th of February?
I did.
And after attending that, did you have a more expanded view of the condition of Alex's body at the time of his death?
I did.
What are your, or did that in any way shape what you did next, or your agency did next regarding this investigation?
Yes, after gathering initial and preliminary information from the autopsy, it was clear that this may not be a tragic accident and actually may be a criminal matter that we're going to have to look at further.
About that time, was a decision made to bring in the Department of Criminal Investigations to assist?
Yes, we did contact the Wisconsin Department of Justice, Division of Criminal Investigation, for assistance, knowing that this could be some type of homicide and we would have to use their resources.
How does that process work when an agency like yours wants that assistance?
Generally, a ranking officer, a ranking administrator would contact the Wisconsin Department of Justice. They would contact the special agent in charge for our region, advise them of what we have, the initial information of the investigation, and what resources we're requesting to assist us.
And in this particular case, what kind of things did they assist with?
Well, first of all, they assisted with manpower. There were several special agents that helped us. Mike Haverly, Adam Fredrickson, Jay Greeno. We also had other agents out of the Eau Claire office that were used to help with digital forensics. There was an analyst that was assigned to help go through the mountains of digital information that we were able to get.
In a case like this, you described it as mountains of information. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Sure. In these types of investigations, you have a lot of information coming in at you all at once. When you do search warrants for cell phones, if there's computers involved, if there's cell records, the school records even, all of these things can be man-hour intensive to go through. For example, my cell phone has a capacity of 256 gigabytes. The things that we hold in our hand can create reports that are thousands of pages long of activity, internet searches, keystrokes, text messages. There's just tens of thousands of pages of stuff.
So a lot of man hours to fully review that information you're receiving.
Yes.
Sergeant, was there a DNA submission made to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab?
Yes.
And what did that pertain to?
Could you repeat the question?
What did that relate to? What was that for?
Sure. The prednisone pill bottle that I just showed you was sent to the state crime lab for DNA analysis to see if Alex Xavier Pedron's DNA was on the, touch DNA was on the pill bottle and cap. And
do you recall what date that was submitted?
We did it early in the investigation. It was February 24th of 2023. We had to wait for his DNA card to come back from Rochester before we could send it for comparison.
And why does it come back from Rochester?
The DNA card is prepared at the autopsy. Then they had to wait for that to dry and do their chain of custody. So that's when we got it, about the same time we got it back.
Or at the time that was sent in, did you have toxicology results back?
No.
And you mentioned wanting to see if Alex was a contributor. What does that mean?
Well, we wanted to gather that important piece of this investigation is whether Alex Xavier Pedron's DNA was located on the cap of the prescription pill bottle or on the pill bottle itself. We felt that that was an important piece of information to know to help steer the investigation.
At some point, did your agency realize that Deputy Jar had given CPR to Alex ungloved?
Yes. One of the things we did do with this investigation is review the body camera of Deputy Anderson and Deputy Jar. We did that early on, especially after we had the Wisconsin Department of Justice on board, so they could see the scene and they could see what we saw, so they had all the information to conduct interviews and to assist us. That's when we quickly noticed that Deputy Jar did not have gloves on initially. He didn't put gloves on until a few minutes after starting the emergency effort.
By that time, had he touched both Alex and the prednisone bottle?
Yes, he had been doing CPR for quite a while on Alex, and then actually picked up the pill bottle and then picked up the cap with his bare hands and placed it on the bed where you saw the picture of it.
To be fair, in those early minutes of his response, what was Deputy Jar's priority?
Deputy Jar's priority was to, as a first responder, to provide emergency medical care to Alex Xavier and see if he could save his life.
After Deputy Jar handled that bottle, it was then put on the bed, correct?
Correct. It was put on the bed that was fitted with a blue bed sheet.
And that was a medication that had been prescribed to Josie Dikeman, correct?
Correct.
She had made statements that she had put those pills in the bag and was attempting to find a way to get rid of them, correct?
Yes, she did disclose that to Lieutenant Williams.
Derek also lived in that home?
Derek did live in the home, yes.
And before those toxicology results came back, you had no idea whether or not Alex had consumed prednisone, correct?
Correct.
Did the importance of those results related to your investigation change after you found out there was no prednisone in his system?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because it seemed like it was a stage scene then, gathered from the evidence that, starting with the condition of Alex's body when Deputy Jar first got there, to the administration of CPR and the substances that came out of Alex, the fact that this prednisone bottle would have at one time contained 12 medications, and 10 of those were found in the bottom of that brown bag, and the pill bottle was laying open adjacent to him.
So as you gain more information, some investigative function that seemed like a high priority when it was first done may lose priority. Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
Mentioned all that data that came in. Were there a lot of search warrants or subpoenas that were executed related to this case as well?
Yes, there was a lot of warrants that I was part of writing, plus we also had DCI agents writing.
And did some of those warrants relate to communication records for the parties involved in this case?
Yes.
Were those communication records just for Ms. Dikeman?
They were not.
Did your agency request through legal process Facebook records for both Derek and Ms. Dikeman?
Yes, for Derek Pedron and Josie Dikeman.
What about legal process for Verizon records?
There were records requested for Derek Pedron, Josie Dikeman, and then I believe it was Raphael Suarez or something similar to that.
And how is he connected to this case?
We had learned that he was texting with Josie Dikeman the night of February 10th into February 11th. We had to actually track down the phone number to identify him.
But at some point that happened?
Yes.
Did you also complete Google data search warrants for both Josie Dikeman and Derek Pedron?
Yes.
And what about search warrants for Apple iCloud information?
For both Derek Pedron and Josie Dikeman, we did the iCloud warrants.
And when you are requesting that kind of information, what kind of data are you looking for to help with your investigation?
You never know what data is going to be important. Google, for example, there's dozens of things that Google actually tracks, from internet searches being the most obvious to games to maps to locations. We try to gather all that and then kind of parse through that. The cell phone stuff has to deal with when calls are being made, incoming, outgoing times. So we're looking for everything that we can get.
Can help establish timelines.
It helps establish timelines. It helps establish when the phone is active, so we know that there's someone using it or not using it.
I'm going to go back to that time period right after the autopsy. Was there kind of a lot of activity in those next several days related to the investigation?
Yes, a lot of activity once the autopsy was complete.
Was Derek Pedron formally interviewed on the 14th of February?
Yes.
And did you participate in that interview?
Yes, Lieutenant Williams and I interviewed him.
Was Becky Ehlers also formally interviewed on the 14th of February?
Yes.
After that interview with Ms. Ehlers, was Mr. Pedron interviewed again on the 21st of February?
Yes, he was interviewed again on the 21st of February, 2023.
Through the course of your investigation, are you aware whether or not in that interview, Mr. Pedron talked about going outside of normal discipline with Alex?
Yes, I believe that occurred. Investigator Leinfelder and Special Agent Frederick did that interview.
Was that the interview where he described his perspective of what had happened in the car in May of 2022?
Correct.
As those initial weeks passed, did some of the electronic information being collected begin to be analyzed?
Yes, so with the help with the Department of Justice, we created a share file. So as those files came in, they would be placed in there, so their analysts and us would all have access to that. So as the Verizon warrant from Derek Pedron came in, that was put in there. From Josie Dikeman, that was put in there so that we all had access.
And as you were receiving kind of the pertinent parts of that data collection, was that allowing you to conduct more interviews?
Yes, we were able to identify others that we wanted to speak to in this investigation.
Did you and Special Agent Mike Haverly meet with Lorelei Raines on March 1st of 2023?
Yes.
And at that point in time, what was her connection to this matter?
Lorelei Raines was talking with Josie Dikeman on February 10th in the evening hours. I believe it was after 9 p.m. We wanted to interview her and see what she knew.
Did you ask her about Raphael Suarez?
We did.
What was the purpose of that?
There was a number that we found in Josie Dikeman's Verizon records that was labeled ANFI worker, I believe. And that was who Raphael was, saved in her contacts as. And we wanted to know what Lorelei Raines knew about this in relation to Josie Dikeman.
Did you also ask Laura Lee about someone named Wayne?
Yes.
What was the basis of that?
Wayne Colkind had been identified as staying at Josie and Derek's residence.
Say move to strike.
Sustain.
Its effect on the listener in terms of the investigation and what he did next, Your Honor.
Okay, then it's not being offered for the truth of the matter, but For the effect on the listener only. Okay, go ahead.
We had just learned that Wayne had stayed there occasionally in the basement.
And in terms of your investigation, why was having that information and following up on that information important?
To do a complete and thorough investigation, if you had something like that to follow up on, it's best to do so.
Were you trying to gather as much information about people who could have possibly been in the home during the time Alex was injured?
Yes.
At that point in your investigation, the information your department had from Ms. Dikeman was that Alex was asleep from 5 p.m. to 7 or 8 p.m. that day. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And police had made contact with the home for that welfare check that night of the 10th, correct?
Correct.
And that contact was shortly after 7 p.m.?
Yes.
Why were you seeking Mr. Pedron's communication records related to this case?
Mr. Pedron was not ruled out as a suspect. We were in the middle of the investigation, and it seemed pertinent that he would have access to Alex Xavier, as it's his son. We wanted to explore all options and everyone that lived in that house.
Were you also following up with other agencies or people in the area to kind of help determine that timeline related to Mr. Pedron?
Yes.
Would that include verifying his work hours?
Yes, one of the special agents from the Wisconsin Department of Justice and another investigator went to Ship Shape Car Wash, conducted interviews there, as well as obtaining the time card for Derek Pedron for the week before this incident.
But also, why follow-up was done with Walmart to verify the transaction or the timing of the transaction he completed on the 10th of February?
Yes, we were able to obtain video from Walmart loss prevention documenting Derek being at Walmart. We could see him inside and as he was leaving.
Sergeant, do you recall, or were you present and recall Attorney Zacher questioning Lieutenant Williams yesterday about the investigator speaking to Mr. Pedron about what a defense attorney might say about Mr. Pedron not providing his phone?
I recall that.
Do you recall the approximate time frame of when those investigators had that conversation with Mr. Pedron?
I believe it was in September of 2023.
It wasn't in those early weeks of the investigation during those interviews with Mr. Pedron?
No, it was not early like that.
It was after Ms. Dikeman had already been charged and through the preliminary hearing process?
Correct.
It was after kind of those mountains, as you described them, of data and communication information had been analyzed?
Yes.
It was after the final autopsy report was submitted?
Yes.
And it was after Mr. Pedron recorded telephone calls with investigators listening in. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
You were present when those calls were made, correct?
I was.
What was your role in that?
I was one of the investigators that was next to Derek Pedron that you saw in the video, while I could only hear the one side of the conversation. That would be with Derek talking.
You reviewed those calls then in full after they were recorded?
Yes.
And those were recorded in March of 2023?
Yes.
Sergeant, you were also present when Attorney Zacher accused Mr. Pedron of drinking or smelling like alcohol during his first day of testimony. Do you recall that?
I recall that.
Did you have an opportunity to get in close proximity to Mr. Pedrin after that accusation was laid, but while he was still on the witness stand?
Judge, I'm going to object to this. This was already deemed improper.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain the objection. I don't know if anything was done after, but I'm going to sustain that objection. Because it was, the question was asked, it was denied, we move forward.
Did you have any concerns related to Mr. Pedrin being under the influence of alcohol during either day he was testifying?
Objection.
No, overruled.
I did not have any concerns that Derek Pedrin was under the influence of alcohol, nor did I smell an odor of an intoxicant.
Sustained.
Mike.
That is stricken. There's no concerns, so that's the answer.
Mr. Zucker, want to stipulate to that?
No, the no concerns was his opinion about Mr. Pedrin at the time.
I'm going to take you back once more here, Sergeant, to the 14th of February, but this time on the topic of the second search warrant related to the cameras. Were you able to retrieve anything related to the cameras that was useful in your investigation?
No.
What did you discover when you went back for that second search warrant?
When I examined the cameras in the home during the first search warrant on February 11th of 2023, I noted the camera upstairs did not have a place to even put a micro SD card in. I did note that the camera in the kitchen and the camera on the exterior of the garage, those were Genie cameras, and there were micro SD cards in there. And I don't want to say chaos, but in the midst of all the things that we were trying to do, I did not pull those micro SD cards. So therefore, when we were going to have TRU come on the 14th to map out the house, we also were going to collect those micro SD cards at that time.
Why did you think that the information on those SD cards or the information related to those cameras could help in this investigation?
Well, we wanted to see if anything was on them. We have done some research to determine, for example, the camera upstairs was entirely cloud-based. It's encrypted files only being able to be seen by the person that has the app on their phone and in their specific account, so they couldn't provide anything. It's possible to back up some of those information on a micro SD card with the other two cameras, similar to what a lot of people have in their own home. Instead of paying for the subscription, you can get a number of days before it rewrites information.
So did you give up on that information at that point?
I did not. I was upset that the SD cards were gone, and I was trying to do whatever I could to get access.
So what did you do?
I then wrote search warrants to Yi Technologies, that's YI, and a search warrant to the Genie, so it's Mercury Genie company. And one of the responses I received was exactly what I just said, that the app on the phone is the only way to gain access to the video. It has to be through that subscriber, their email address and password. Mercury Genie also states that the only thing you can get is from the app, same way. You have to have it on your phone or log into your account. But additional video could be saved on the micro SD cards. So I tried to get it from both places.
Did you do anything next?
Yes. So then the decision was made to write a search warrant to assumed the user's identity. So in this case, I wrote the warrant for the Ye camera system and the Genie system because we had the forensic download from Josie Dikeman's cell phone that contained username and passwords. So I was going to try to attempt to get the videos that way.
Did that work?
It didn't work as good as we hoped. With the Ye system, I downloaded the app to my work cell phone and tried to log in under Josie Dikeman's email address and password and was unsuccessful. The account was not there, which would lead me to believe that it had been deleted. I tried to do the same thing, log into the Genie app on my work cell phone, and I could not get into it. Then we did a third thing. The third thing was we actually took Josie Dikeman's phone out of evidence and hooked it to Wi-Fi, and we were able to get access to the cameras from the Genie app.
Did it go smoothly from there?
No.
You can just refer now to document or exhibit number 113 in front of you. You recognize the photos contained in this exhibit.
I do.
And do these relate to your attempt to get some of those cell phone or the videos from the interior, exterior of the home using Ms. Dikeman's cell phone?
Yes.
And why were you taking pictures as you went through this process?
We took pictures because we wanted to document what we were doing, to be able to show the steps that we took to gather this information and to preserve it in case it was ever deleted.
And are the pictures located as part of this exhibit fair and accurate representations of the documentation that you were doing throughout this process?
Yes.
Would they assist you in being able to describe what happened with this process to the jury?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 113, request to publish.
Judge, if the state intends to use this as a basis of or foundation of knowledge for Investigator Amundson to describe the inner workings of the Genie system and how data is or is not deleted, then I would object as lack of foundation, but if not, no objection.
Thought it was used for refreshing his recollection what he did.
Going to use to what he did and what he observed as he was doing this process, Judge.
Okay, as long as it's what he did and what he observed, that's fine.
We turn down the lights just a little. It might be easier. Investigator, you should have a copy of this in front of you. I don't know if that's easier for you to read from there. But can you tell us what we're looking at in the first photo here?
This was the login history to the Genie app.
And was this, why were you looking at this screen as you were going through this process?
I felt it was important to see if there had been any access to the Genie app since February 10th of 2023.
And what did this picture reflect to you when you were making that determination?
The third paragraph down on 217 states we noticed a new sign-in to your account on 217 at 5:31 p.m. from iPhone 12, 8 If it was not you, please change your password immediately.
And then what about the information in the top two paragraphs?
The second paragraph down, that was at 10:57, and on February 20th of 2023, I believe that was when we were trying to sign into the account at that time.
And
then the next one's at 11:52, and I believe that would have been the time we were trying to sign in with Josie Dikeman's phone.
So the two attempts at the top, you believe, were both by your agency in attempting to get this information?
Yes.
Okay. Were you able to log into Ms. Dikeman's account?
I was.
And if you can turn to page 2 of Exhibit 113, what are we looking at here?
At the very top, it says driveway, and this is the camera view from the Genie camera mounted on the front of the garage at their residence.
And then moving to page 3, what about this photo?
This photo, so I was able to start to click into dates, and this one shows from the 19th of February. It says home, remove device at 8:42 and 42 seconds p.m. on the phone model iPhone SE, second generation. Josie Marie JZ at gmail.com removed the kitchen camera.
That would have been after your search warrant, correct?
No, that was before my search warrant.
That was a bad question, Sergeant. After the search warrants that you executed at the residence?
Yes, after the first search warrant on February 11th.
Moving on to page 4, what are we looking at here?
At the top, it says 20th February, and what you see of the second one down, that is actually where it says alert 11:55 and 24 seconds a.m. This would depict law enforcement, myself and Lieutenant Williams trying to log into the Genie app. So it shows that we've logged in on a new phone, the model iPhone 11. This was not done by you. Genie recommends changing your login password immediately to protect your account. Below that, it shows on February 19th again where the subscription was canceled because the device kitchen has been deleted, and we've canceled subscription of Genie Basic Plan yearly. The service will expire on 1/5/24. You will not be charged for the next period. That's from the 19th of February at 8:42 and 42 seconds p.m.
The login or the alert at 12:18, is that a device that you're familiar with?
No,
Not a law enforcement device? It wasn't you or somebody in or with your agency also trying to log into the phone?
no. We actually, when we were gathering the information from the 11:55 a.m. login, we were kicked out of the application by a different user.
Judge, I'm going to object to lack of foundation for the basis of that opinion.
Yeah, sustained.
So you were accessing data from this app, correct?
Yes.
How did that end?
It ended when we were removed from the screen that we had the data. It logged us out. And then we tried to log back in again and found that.
Okay. So after you found that message, were you still able to access the contents that you had previously seen within the app?
We started losing data. The February calendar had visible markings where there was data, that being photos and or videos. And after that, we were furiously trying to get more information from the 11th. Well, the 11th was already deleted when we logged in, but then other dates were vanishing in front of us. They were just being erased.
Were you able to log back into the app at that point?
No, we didn't get any more data after we lost all that.
From the data that was extracted from Ms. Dikeman's phone, were you able to determine what kind of views the cameras in the home provided?
Can you move the microphone down a little bit and repeat, please?
Sure can. I'm sorry. Thank you for that reminder. From the extraction that was done with Ms. Dikeman's or on Ms. Dikeman's phone, was there data contained in that extraction that allowed you to determine what kind of views the cameras inside the residence had?
I'd ask the state to specify a time frame for the views that the cameras had.
Well, in January and February of 2023.
I don't think I'm understanding your question right.
And that's my fault. Again, bad question. Do you have Exhibit 114 in front of you?
Yes,
And is this a extraction report related to Josie's iPhone 2?
it is.
And what does this extraction report contain?
The extraction report here contains some data files from the iPhone of Josie Dikeman.
And are these specifically related to photos that were located during the extraction?
Yes,
Is it a true and accurate copy of the photographs that were part of the extraction of her phone?
yes,
Your Honor, I would move Exhibit 114 into evidence and request that we publish pages 2, 3, and 4 of that exhibit.
Subject to cross-examination.
Yeah. Be received, go ahead and publish.
Looking at page 2 of Exhibit 114, are you familiar with what we're looking at here?
yes. On this side, I believe, is the curtain that goes into Josie Dikeman's bedroom. These are the stairs that go upstairs, and this would be this side of the kitchen.
And is there a logo on the bottom left portion of that photo?
Yes, it's spelled Y-I,
Do you know what that logo is for?
the Yeek camera system.
And that's one of the camera systems that you observed being in the home.
Yes,
And what is the date and timestamp of this image?
12/28/2022 at 03:04 and 27 seconds.
And does the contents of this image align with the camera positioning that you observed in the home?
No,
Was there a camera still there or in this position when you conducted the search warrants?
I don't recall.
But Yi cameras were something you were familiar with related to Ms. Dikeman's investigation?
Yes.
And can you explain for me or describe for the record the positioning of the curtain that seems to be hanging from the doorway to the dining room / Miss Dikeman's room?
It is twisted and I would say 3/4 of the way open with, it looks like part of the curtain is tucked into, I think, a handrail, which I don't see there, so it's held up by something.
But you can see into the interior of that room from the hallway.
Yes.
Moving on to page 3 of Exhibit 114, do you recognize what we're looking at here?
Yes.
The same general area as the previous picture?
Correct.
And what is the date and time stamp of this photo?
01/16/2023 at 01:32:21.
And again, if you can describe for me the location of the curtain that is hanging in the doorway.
The curtain is approximately 3/4 the way pulled up, twisted, and secured some manner to the right-hand side of the stairs.
And there's actually a different logo in the bottom left of this photo.
Yes.
Can you just identify that for the record?
Kami, Kami, all in lowercase letters.
And then moving on to page 4 of Exhibit 114, can you tell me what we're looking at here?
That appears to be the upstairs of the residence. In the area where Araya and Brantley were known to stay.
Appears to be above that race car bed, is that correct?
Yes, I believe that police car, the police bed or whatever kind of car it was with the blue there, you can see it in the bottom of the photo.
And does this position of the camera seem to be consistent with the camera that you saw while executing the search warrant in the residence?
Yes.
You can then turn your attention, Sergeant, to Exhibit 115. Is this another extraction report from Ms. Dikeman's cell phone download?
Yes, it is.
And is it a true and accurate representation of data that was collected from her iPhone related to the extraction done on the 13th of February 2023?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of Exhibit 114, request to publish page 2 of that exhibit.
Ooh, 115.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
115. Any,
Cross.
okay, yeah, received, can publish.
And Sergeant, what are we looking at in this photo?
It appears to be a screenshot from 750. There's an arrow facing left, says playback. There's a date and time stamp on the Genie area of the photo, and it says 02-10-2023 at 07:31 and 31 seconds p.m.
And is there a logo on the screenshot?
Yes, it's got the Genie logo.
And was this the approximate time that police had contact with the residents on the 10th of February?
Yes.
Um, We're going to move on to something different now, Sergeant. If I can have you please look at Exhibit 116.
Judge, can I get a sidebar on this?
Okay.
I am.
And can you please identify this document?
This is an attendance summary broken into two categories, one for the 2021-2022 school year and the other for the 2022-2023 school year.
And was this document compiled with the information that was contained in the business records provided by the school district related to the children's attendance?
Yes.
Do the days absent break them out into unexcused and excused absences?
Yes.
They do? That was a trick question, probably. And I apologize for that bad question.
I'm looking at different.
Your Honor, can I move for the admission of it and ask to publish, and then I think we can talk through the exhibit.
Okay.
Judge, can we get a clarification on that answer that was the trick question before?
I will stipulate that it includes both excused and unexcused absences, Your Honor.
Okay. It has both excused and unexcused absences. You can go ahead and publish.
Thank you.
From the earlier discussion we had.
Does it indicate for the 2021 to 2022 school year at the top there that there are 170 or were 175 days of school in that year?
Yes.
And I think we heard testimony, but fair to say in that 2021 to 2022 school year, we were still in COVID protocols?
Yes.
How many days absent was Alex in kindergarten of that year?
Well, 42.
And what about Major, who was in second grade?
24.
And Jalen, who was in fourth grade?
29.
And there are some additional remote learning and absent family days included in this chart, correct?
Correct.
Related to the 2022 to 2023 school year, as of the date of Alex's passing, does this indicate that there were 101 days of school that year?
Yes.
And how many days had Alex, who was in grade 1 that year, missed?
40.
And do you recall that about approximately 5 of those days were related to the broken femur?
That sounds right.
Okay. And what about Brantley, who was in kindergarten that year?
29.
And Major, who was in third grade?
22.
And Jalen, who was in fifth grade?
27.
We've talked about that communication data being pretty dense. Is that correct? Is that a fair term?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yes, we talked about the communication data that was collected in this case as being pretty dense. Is that a fair representation?
Yes, there's a lot of data.
So when you're using those tools, can it be hard to produce the results in a way that may be easy for an end user to review?
Yes, it can be complex.
And has there been a lot of review of the data related to this case?
Yes, by a lot of people.
Is it also part of the process that you have to identify how each person uses different forms of communication, whether that be text or social media?
Yes.
If I can have you give you a new set of documents here.
Can I just get a clarification? So in that chart, you're saying that 20, just so it's clear, there was an objection on the excused, unexcused, the 22, 23 chart includes both excused and unexcused absences? Is that what you were saying?
Correct, Your Honor. It's total absences.
It's total absences, whether excused or unexcused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna need a sidebar on 117.
No, okay, come on up in 117. But just for right now. Yep. How many, no, let's go back on the record. I'm going to go on the record here. I just want to ask it, how many days are we talking about of information that are here?
You mean how many instances, Judge?
Yeah, I guess not days, but like exchanges is really, I guess, the question.
Five, Your Honor.
And these exchanges were all part of discovery?
Absolutely, Your Honor. They're also within the time of the charging period in this case.
Okay. Is the intention to go through each one of these pages?
The intention, Your Honor, and that's why I provide this summary, is that I provide the data from the cell phone extraction so that they have that and they can verify it with their own records, which is helpful, I think, when we're doing summaries, especially with how the statute's written. And then the summary pages that are in the much easier to read tables would be what I would publish to the jury. It's a summary, and that's the date and the time, but it's made easier for everybody to digest, so that we can get through it much more quickly. And so,
So there looks like there's at least 117, 118 through 125. Is that right? Okay.
yeah, that, I thought you were speaking specifically, Your Honor, to 117. There's also timeline information from the phones related to the 10th and the 11th that I intended to get into as well.
We might as well address all. Is there a summary on these other packets?
No, Judge, if there's not a summary, it's my intention to just ask Sergeant Amundson about specific instances in those. I provide the bigger part of the exhibit, just so again, Attorney Zacher and the defense team have the context of things, and so the whole record's provided.
Okay.
That's the issue, Judge.
All right. So really, we're only talking about 117 here is the issue. 118, I don't know if you have an objection, 118 through 125. Those look like packets of information that was, it looks like 126 and 127, 128. Is that correct?
Yeah, 125 is a summary document of 124, again, so that it's easier to read. The other issue that I think we were struggling with when Attorney Zacher was presenting Facebook images or messages, Your Honor, is that it's in the universal time code, and so we're saying things like subtract about 5 or 6 hours wherever we are with daylight savings, and I think that's confusing to the jury and to the witness. And so not all of these are exhibits that I intend to publish, but it is information that I intend to go through.
Okay. Mr. Zacher?
Well, Judge, the problem here is that these are documents that were altered and generated by the state for the purpose of production at trial. A statement of Investigator or Sergeant Amundson here.
What statement?
You're offering these as his statements.
I'm offering them as exhibits that are coming in through him, just like the
Exhibits
record.
that are coming in through him that have been altered by the state and presented as evidence.
They're Ms. Dikeman statements.
It was not presented to us before trial, Judge. This is a discovery violation. 971-23-1, parent A out. A relevant recorded statement of any witness on the state's list. It also contains evidence of other acts that were never introduced or litigated, despite the fact that we have a motion in limine agreeing that the state would not be introducing other acts unless they were pre-litigated, particularly incidents where the state is attempting to paint Ms. Dikeman as a pill distributor or somebody who was receiving pills unrelated to this case. Oxycodone, or whether or not she got pain medications from her mother after Mr. Pedrin beat her, mind you,
That's an
are not
allegation.
relevant. Are not relevant at all. Like, show me how this is admissible under Sullivan. The statements themselves that the state is also going to be introducing, it's hearsay. We've got statements from Becky Ehlers. We've got statements from Mr. Pedrin. I haven't been able to cross-examine or confront either of them. This is far too little, too late. It should be excluded.
What exactly is the information that Attorney Zacher didn't have prior to today, Your Honor? If he looks at these summaries, and you're allowed to produce a summary as long as the entire record is available to defense counsel so that they can verify the accuracy of the summary, that's allowable. This is all information he has. It's in a form so the jury can digest it.
And I don't know, my objection was the same to Exhibit 116, which grossly misrepresented the number of days that Alex Xavier was out of school with excuses.
Doesn't matter for truancy. The school keeps track of it the same way.
All right. Let me ask this question. The parts which are not the summaries, are those accurate? Are those things you had?
We have these records, Judge, but I disagree that either the summary or the, in particular, some of the content of this summary is even admissible. I think that this is unnoticed other acts. It serves no relevant purpose. It's dramatically outweighed by the prejudice to Ms. Dikeman, tending to paint her as a drug addict or somebody who procures pills when this was never litigated once before trial.
Your Honor, it also goes to the other acts that they are putting at Mr. Pedron, right? We saw all those videos where he's like, you use pills. She's like, no, you do, right? The jury is allowed to have information to determine whether or not those other acts were proved to the necessary standard. There, again, is nothing in these statements, these summaries that they didn't previously have. It's within the time charge period, or the charged period here, Your Honor.
The state should have noticed this as another act and brought it up with Mr. Pendron while I could confront him on the stand about those statements.
I can't. They're not his statements. He wasn't involved in these messages between Ms. Ehlers and Ms. Dikeman. Your Honor, her attorneys are representing, right, her as somebody who successfully completed drug court, and especially in comparison to the evidence that they've presented regarding Mr. Pedron. Like,
she did successfully complete drug court, Judge. And
Wait, just give me a second, okay? For God's sake. So the problem I see is this, is I don't know what they're referring to in these things. I don't know, 10 pills, 3 pills, whatever it might be. It's not clear what they're referring to.
prescription pills.
No, I understand that.
Okay.
I understand it's prescription pills, but the reality is it Xanax? Is it oxycodone? What is it? Because I assume it's for pain medications or vice versa.
Attorney
Xanax
Zacher, excuse me, Your Honor, but Attorney Zacher said, I believe in his opening statement, that she was getting these pills from her mom because she was being hurt.
Yeah.
So he's acknowledging, right, that they know what kind of pills they are. I mean, I know we can't drag this out, Your Honor. I know that, but if I understand.
I was told yesterday that, no, our direct, it won't take that long. We're more worried about Mr. Zacher's. Right now, Mr. Zacher's not going to be starting until about 3:30, 4 o'clock at best. And the state has taken all day. So I'm going to give you a choice. One, you can use 1 or 2 of the, I actually think 117 looks like that's related to those pills. I get that. The other ones, are you objecting to 118, 117? Damn it.
Yeah, and Your Honor, the first one on 117 already came in, the comment about getting Xanax, so.
And Judge, I agree that's probably relevant context evidence, that text about the Xanax. Where my objection lies is all these texts about, well, oxycodone or anything else.
Attorney Zacher represented she's getting it because she's being hurt by Mr. Pedron. What she's representing to her mom in these is that she has different ailments, and it isn't for that purpose, Your Honor. So I think it goes to her credibility as well.
We talked about the hydrocodone texts that were recent to the allegation. I didn't talk about anything else.
They're all in the time period that these charges were contained in the criminal complaint.
Just a second. I'm going through these summaries. I don't even see the word oxycodone. I don't see. I'm just going through your summaries, right? That's what was actually said in these.
Judge, people who are trading medicines don't put the kind of medicine they're buying in this, right? We had this script text related to Mr. Pedron.
So, but then it's pure speculation about what the actual drugs are, right? We don't know what the drugs are because this is
Well,
except for the Xanax response. But the rest of them are, do you have 9? Do you have 2? Do you have 10? Are you going to the pharmacy? I mean, you're giving me about 4 minutes here to review this, so I don't,
Judge.
if I'm misquoting it, I'm sorry, but.
I don't think he has a proper legal objection to this, except he doesn't like it.
I've stated my itemized objections repeatedly.
Yeah, that this is a discovery issue, this should have been turned over, so we're
Judge,
not
how is
gonna.
it a discovery issue? I would like a ruling on that because, Your Honor, I have other messages. We're going to have a cross-examination next week. I would just like,
We're gonna have cross-examination next week?
Judge, what do
All
you?
right, Delia, I'm gonna take about a 5-minute break. Let me think about this. I don't even know. To be honest, yeah, give me a 5-minute break, okay? You think about how this should go.
And then we're cross-examining witnesses next week.
Okay, first of all, on the issue of 117, 117 is a summary of exchanges for it looks like it's mostly Becky Ellers. Is it all Becky Ellers, I think? Exchanges with Becky Ellers. The statements by Becky Ellers are hearsay. First of all, on the issue of discovery, this was turned over. I do believe the state has the ability to make a summary. The problem I see more is the issue of hearsay in these. You know, they're not being offered for the truth of the matter, but there are statements that are being stated by Ms. Dikeman, which are being offered for the truth of the matter to prove that she's involved with getting certain types of drugs from her mother, and these are prescription, they seem to be prescription drugs, to be honest, and not high leaks things. So this is what I'll let you do. I'm not gonna let you use the summaries. I'll let you use that. You can say the dates and the times of what Josie Dikeman said in these to avoid the hearsay situation. That's what the current situation is. Because I think otherwise Ms. Ellers was gonna be, should have been able to testify as to what she said.
Then, Judge, we can call her.
All
That
right?
what you would prefer?
You-
I think her statements give context. I would note that,
They're not being offered for the truth of the matter, right?
absolutely, Judge, just like,
But there's a whole, like January 19th, there's one phrase by Ms. Dikeman. The rest are responses by Ms. Ellers. So you cannot be offering the last 3 because there's no, it's the effect on the listener question, right? Did this listener, this is not being offered, it's giving context for this.
Your Honor, but
Just have 1 second with Mr. Ruder.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your Honor, about the 19th, I hear what you're saying. I think, though, the context actually comes from the messages a week later. Where Ms. Dikeman, right, and both times it's Mr. Pedron going to get the medicine. Or I would note the one that's around the May date, Your Honor, coincides with the prescription label of the oxycodone that Sergeant Am. So I think that also gives context to that. I didn't put all of them in, Your Honor, that were within these records. I tried to be selective.
No, I mean, I understand you're trying to be selective, et cetera, but you have hearsay here. You're trying to tell me it's being offered for contextual reasons but you're not calling Ms. Ellers to bring this on with Ms. Ellers, but, you know, I think that's the problem with this, that these are exchanges between Ms. Dikeman and Ms. Ellers, and yet I understand you're trying to speed it up with the investigator, but it seems to me that this is if you want to get into what the content is by Ms. Ellers, you got to have Ms. Ellers testify to it.
Then, Judge, will you strike the testimony related to Mr. Pedron and the script and the unknown person that they provided that evidence related to?
There was no objection at the time. It was a valid hearsay, except not tit for tat when it comes to these. I made the objection, the state did not.
I'm sticking to what I have in front of me right now. I'm not.
I know, but
doing
I understand what something not being offered for the truth of the matter means. So that's my frustration, Your Honor.
Judge,
And I think the objection was made at that time, Your Honor, and it was said that it wasn't for the truth of the matter asserted. Context.
Okay. 117, you can use Ms. Dikeman's quotes. You can use the what I will allow them to be is you can say, you can have Investigator Amundson talk about what was said right before it and then what was said. So there's some that sort of an exchange back and forth. But there's a whole nother series where, I mean, the very last one in theory is about a vape. It's not even about drugs.
No, Your Honor, that is Ms. Ehlers asking that Derek pick up the vape on the way to pick up the pills because she's at work and she needs her vape.
And that seems a lot built into that statement. I'm sorry, but
I am too,
text
Judge.
messages are laden with, you know, we don't know exactly what was said. That's why hearsay becomes a lot more difficult to start adding and applying inferences to what it's being said here. People have inferences being said and they could be wrong. It's speculation as far as I'm concerned. I mean, actually that last exchange, she talks about a vape. She doesn't talk, at the very end, she talks about a vape. She doesn't talk about pills.
Ms. Ehlers talks about the vape being brought to her.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Okay.
Judge, I would note that this packet contains exhibits marked through 128. My objection is the same to all of these proposed exhibits.
Well, 118 looks like, this is just a Cellbrite from what I can tell. That's
It's all Cellbrite or Facebook data.
Okay, so but this is not, it's just a section taken out, right?
What is, Your Honor?
The Cellbrite, 118 is Cellbrite data that was taken out of the discovery.
Correct.
Or out of what you got back on the search warrants. Or from the, actually not a search warrant, but it's from the download.
I'll save this, Rob. Why, no objection to 118.
What about 121? I don't know where 119 is. I may have misplaced it.
I don't have a 119 in here.
Okay. 121 looks like to be the same thing. Is that correct?
Well,
It's
all Cellbrite information. They contain different parts of the Cellbrite data, Your Honor.
Right. So 121, just let's go through this so we don't keep on having continuous objections. So 121, 122, and 123 seems to be Cellbrite data. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's Cellbrite data, but looking at 121, it's a complete mix. So we've got web search history, we've got call logs, we've got instant messages, we've got text messages. It's still rife with hearsay. It's rife with irrelevant content.
I'm not offering all of it, Your Honor. I offer these when I give them to counsel prior to me beginning questioning, so they have a minute to look at that. I like to pre-mark things and be prepared so that we can hopefully move through things more quickly. I provide these for the context.
Hold on.
I know, so there are certain things I'm going to go into on each of these exhibits. I'm not going into everything
Right.
on them.
So 124 looks like meta platform business records, so that's another, that came probably from a search warrant of some sort. It's 125, that seems to be, is that some type of composite log? Or is that from meta platform records?
125 is a summary of the meta information in 124.
Okay,
And again, part of the reason for that is so that it has the accurate time frame when the witness is testifying to it.
right, that's correct. I see that. And do you have an objection to that?
Judge, more than half of this is hearsay from Mr. Pedrin.
Were you going to go through each one of these
No, Judge.
exchanges?
And we would be here for a whole nother week. That wasn't my intent. Again, I do this so they have context, so that I'm not presenting one message, out of a million messages, and then they're scrambling and it's taking us time to get through this stuff. So I provide all of them in context so that we can get through this if they have questions.
So is your intention to show what Mr. Pedrin is saying? Or just what Ms. Dikeman?
No, Your Honor. My intention is to show what Ms. Dikeman is saying. Sometimes it includes a statement of Mr. Pedrin, like if she's answering a question related to what I'm getting into with this exhibit. But it's, again, offered for context and not for the truth of the matter.
So 124, 125, there might be a selective objection on hearsay, but I'll take a look at the context. Those are admissible. Then 126 and 127, or is it just 126? This is the exchange between Ms. Raines and Ms. Dikeman, which has been essentially.
That 127, no objection.
That summary?
126, no objection.
Okay, 126 and 127. What about 128?
Again, as a summary of what I intend with my further direct of the sergeant to get in. So it's just providing context of the evidence that comes in. Because, right, the problem is I have to present it in these piecemeal ways because some of it comes from Meta, some of it comes from Cellbrite, that sort of thing. I'm just trying to put it in context for the jury.
I understand. I'm just trying to figure out. So 128, there are statements from Raphael, I forget it, but there's statements back to him from Ms. Dikeman. And then there's the call to 911. There's the call to her mother, called 911. I think that is contextual, but what was actually being said by Mr. forgetting his name, what's his last name?
Suarez Porfirio.
Suarez, okay. I'm sorry. I mean, do you object to any of that in 128?
Judge,
Technically hearsay.
if I had been emailed this a week ago,
Let's just tell me, do you object to it?
I don't know if it's accurate. I have to object at this point.
Right.
And Your
I'm
Honor, if I
assuming-
have to change these exhibits, that's the other problem. I can't do that on the fly at this point.
I'm not changing. What I'm saying is I'm okay with 128. Yeah, I mean, I think 128 is the context of what happened right in that morning, so I don't have a problem with that at all. So what I'll say is for 117, so we're going to have to break it down because I don't know what else other way to deal with this. Is July 6th, I don't have a problem with that entire being submitted. July 11th, that's fine.
11th, Judge?
What?
The May 11th?
May 11th, 21, that's fine. October 10th, I think, do not use October 10th, but you can do the first 3 exchanges that can just be read. Read by, what were the exchanges? 105, 115, 115. Do you see what I'm saying? This first 3? Because that's contextual, yes, what's up, and then she answers. What Ms. Ellers says afterwards is hearsay.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
No, are you following what I'm saying or not?
I am. I was just wondering if we could ask based on the context of the conversation, what was it about without putting in those other statements? Could the investigator say that on that particular
I think it's up to, unless Ms. Ellers is here, that context doesn't, you can give this to the jury and the jury can decide if it's really relevant to drug dealing or not. Even if I let Ms. Ellers put in what she says here is, I will get home, I have your 20, I have 10 extra, I'm now at Walmart, or I'm at Walmart now, where are you? Probably about medications, but the reality is unless Ms. Ellers is here to explain what that exchange is about, I'm not sure how that is, or as Ms. Dikeman explains it. So whatever the investigator says is that it's conjecture. It's not based in what he knows about what was actually what was meant or said, because it is hearsay. It's why hearsay is excluded, in fact. So the next exchange, January 19th, I believe, is what I was on, 2023. How are you feeling? Throat hurts and back hurts. Ms. Dikeman doesn't even respond. She just says, my throat hurts and back hurts. So, unless I'm missing something.
That's the one I said was in context, where she a week later then asks if she has a couple more that she can buy.
So a week.
Says I can give you 10, and she said Derek went to pick up the kids so he can stop by you.
That's connecting something that happened in January 19th, 2023 to January 26th, 2023, 7 days later. You're saying that my throat hurts and back hurts is the reason why 7 days later this other thing is exchanged?
I'm saying it puts in context, right? When she's saying I'm calling for a refill now, it's ready, but I work until 9. I can't get it till tomorrow, but I can give Derek a couple to try. So she can't give him a lot. She has a couple because she can't get a refill till the next day.
You're making a lot of assumptions that the couple that she's starting to talk about 7 days later is the same couple she's talking about 7 days before.
She's asking for a couple more.
Couple more what? Unless you have the person saying, this is why hearsay isn't.
I understand, Josh.
Yeah. So you know what? I just don't. I'm not going to allow 19th and 26th. You can bring in the other ones as I've explained. We've already talked about the other ones. So, all right, let's go forward.
Hold on, Judge. I want to make extra certain. Are you saying I can publish the summaries for both July 6th of 2021,
July 6th of 2021.
May 11th of 2021?
May 11th of 21. It's only part of October 10th of 22.
I'm going to skip that one, Judge. We're just going to keep moving.
Okay, and I think 19th, no, and the next one, no. So it's only those 2.
Judge, just so I don't interrupt the flow, I'm just going to enter a standing hearsay and confrontation and speculation and relevance objection to the remaining content, and I won't object individually.
Yeah, I don't think this is a discovery issue. I think it's more of an issue of hearsay issues and then confrontation, but I think the way I've limited that, that avoids those issues. So, all right, let's get going, bring the jury in.
Before we get going, did you say that 126 is in there? Is that one already?
I don't think it's 126. Go ahead and bring him in. You can come on up. Investigator, you can come on up.
Oh.
All right, everybody may be seated. So just to assure you, we will be done by 4:30 today. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Investigator, in your review of Ms. Dikeman's cell phone download, did you review some messages between Ms. Dikeman and her mother, Becky Ehlers?
Yes,
Are you looking at Exhibit 117?
I am.
Specifically related to page 1 and 2 of that exhibit is page 3 related to that exhibit, a fair and accurate summary of the Cellbrite data.
Yes,
And then is page 4 another portion of the Cellbrite extraction related to a conversation that Ms. Dikeman had with her mother, Becky Ehlers?
yes,
And was that conversation in May of 2021?
yes,
You can turn to page 5 of that exhibit. Is a summary contained on that page, a fair and accurate summary of the Cellbrite data contained on page 4?
yes,
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of the pages of Exhibit 117 that I have just reviewed with Sergeant Amundson, and then I would request permission to publish page 3 of the exhibit related to July 6, 2021, as well as page 5 of the exhibit related to May 11th, 2021.
All right, per the conversation we had earlier, court's going to allow it to be received. I understand there's an ongoing objection. Go ahead.
Sergeant, can you please read to the jury what this summary depicts?
July 6th of 2021, at 6:52 p.m., Becky Ehlers sends a message. I feel like I have ruined Jalen's birthday. At 7 p.m., Josie Dikeman replies, "No, it's okay. I've been rough on them too. It will be fine. We'll do her crab legs and cake." At 7 p.m., Josie Dikeman again says, "I got her some things she wanted from Walmart." At 11:28 p.m., Josie Dikeman sends, "Do you want to try a Xanax?"
I'm going to move now to page 5 of this exhibit. Can you please tell the jury what's depicted in this portion of the exhibit?
May 11th of 2021, 12:52 p.m., Becky Ehlers sends, "This sucks, S-U-X." At 1:28 p.m., Josie Dikeman sends, "I'm picking up mine. I have 30 and can get a refill in 4 days after surgery." 1:29 p.m., Becky Ehlers sends, "I don't want yours." At 1:33 p.m., Josie Dikeman sends, "If you don't calm it, it won't get better."
Thank you, Sergeant. If I can have you turn now to Exhibit 124. Can you please tell me what we're looking at here?
This is Meta Platforms business record, page 160 through page 180.
Are these specifically messages between Derek Pedron and Josie Dikeman?
Yes,
And is the dates related to these messages February 7th of 2023 through the 10th of February 2023?
yes.
If I can have you then turn to Exhibit 125. Is this a summary of the Meta Platforms Facebook records that were contained in Exhibit 124?
Yes.
And does the time related to the messages in the summary convert the time from the UTC timestamp to the Central Standard Time timestamp?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of Exhibit 124 and 125. It's not my intent to publish this, but to go through specific lines. I have numbered the lines on the summary, so it's easy for everybody to know what specifically I'm talking about before Sergeant Amundson goes into the testimony.
Go ahead, will be received, ongoing objection.
Thank you. Sergeant Amundson, can you please relate to the jury what the message is on line 6 of the summary exhibit 125?
It's from February 7th of 2023 at 3:17 and 26 seconds p.m. The sender is Josie Dikeman, and it states, "We should be following the no contact."
And as we've discussed, or has been testified to, that time period between the 7th of February and the 10th of February, was that between the two dates of Mr. Pedron's arrest in February of 2023?
Yes.
And to be clear, Sergeant, if Derek Pedron has a no contact with Josie Dikeman, whose responsibility is it to make sure that he doesn't have contact with Ms. Dikeman?
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. If Mr. Pedron has a no contact condition of his bond, whose responsibility is it to make sure that he abides by that no contact?
Mr. Pedron?
Is Ms. Dikeman under any obligation to abide by that court ruling?
No.
If you can please then read for us lines 9 and 10 of Exhibit 125.
February 7th, 2023 at 3:27 and 7 seconds p.m., Derek Pedron messages Josie Dikeman, "Can I call you yet?" ?
And then what does line 10 read?
Line 10, February 7th, 2023 at 3:27 and 23 seconds p.m., Josie Dikeman responds, "Yes."
Can you then proceed to lines 17 through 19, Sergeant?
On February 7th of 2023 at 7:25 and 33 seconds p.m., Derek Pedron messages Josie Dikeman, "I really miss you. My chest hurts." On February 7th of 2023 at 7:25 and 46 seconds p.m., Josie Dikeman responds, putting kids to bed. February 7th of 2023 at 7:25 and 51 seconds p.m., Josie Dikeman sends Derek Pedron, I miss you too.
You can then move to line 31, Sergeant.
February 7th of 2023 at 7:49 and 3 seconds p.m., Josie Dikeman messages Derek Pedron, I'll call you when I get them all down.
And then finally, the last message from the 7th, I'll ask you to read. Can you please tell us what the message in line 51 indicates?
You said 51?
Correct.
February 7th, 2023 at 9:03 and 58 seconds p.m., Josie Dikeman messages Derek Pedron, I'm going to put my phone on the charger and get some sleep. Good night, babe.
Sergeant Amundson, Mr. Pedron was released from jail on the 7th of February, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And it was Ms. Dikeman's statement that he returned immediately to the home. Is that correct?
I'm not sure, but I believe so.
Okay. And these messages seem to indicate that they may be having contact, but they're not in the same location. Is that a fair representation?
Correct, they're at different locations.
If I can have you then move to page 3 and read lines 127 and 128 of this exhibit.
February 8th of 2023 at 4:22 and 59 seconds p.m., Derek Pedron messages Josie Dikeman, I hope you have a good night.
And then what is line 128?
February 8th of 2023 at 5:16 p.m., or 5:16 and 32 second p.m., Josie Dikeman messages Derek Pedron, are you staying at your mom's tonight?
So there it seems that there's still some uncertainty about whether or not he'll be returning to the home. Is that correct?
Correct.
No, you're probably buried under a pile of paper there, Sergeant, but if I can have you find exhibit 121, please.
Got it.
This report, another portion of the Cellbrite data that came from Josie Dikeman's iPhone with the extraction date of February 13th, 2023.
Yes.
Does this data encompass the dates of February 10th to, if you flip to the last page, February 11th of 2023?
Yes.
Does it contain call log, instant message, searched items, web history, voicemail, and image information data that was contained in her being Miss Dikeman's phone extraction?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 121. Again, I will not publish, but I will be asking Sergeant Amundson about specific numbered items.
Will be received with noting the same objections.
Sergeant Amundson, can you please flip to page 5 and tell me what line 70 indicates?
Which line?
70.
70 is web history dated February 10th, 2023 at 12:05 and 42 seconds p.m. Source is Safari, and it says Ambien oral, uses, side effects, interactions, pictures, warnings and dosing, WebMD.
Sergeant Amundson, are you aware if Ms. Dikeman had a active prescription for Ambien?
I did not see that she had an active prescription for Ambien.
Have you then flipped to page 12, item 165? Can you tell us what this portion of the record indicates?
It's search items dated February 10th, 2023 at 2:54 and 35 seconds p.m. The source is Safari. It's for Domino's.
And if I can have you flip to page 180, or excuse me, page 13, item 181, and tell me what this record or portion of the record indicates.
It's from her call log. It's an outgoing call. February 10th, 2023 at 4:17 and 32 seconds p.m. to telephone number 1-608-779-3030, and the call lasted for 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
And Sergeant, through your involvement of this investigation, are you aware that that phone number is for Domino's Pizza?
Yes.
If I can have you then flip to page 17, section 224. Can you tell us what we're looking at in this portion of the record?
It's a call log, incoming phone call dated February 10th, 2023 at 7:22 and 37 seconds p.m. The call is from phone number 1-608. 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
If I can have you then turn to page 19, specifically line 257, and tell us what we're looking at here, investigator.
You said line 257?
Correct.
This is an instant message. It's outgoing from the cell phone, dated February 10th, 2023 at 9:07 and 11 seconds p.m. From 1-608.
Person who maybe doesn't want to be calls.
If you want to just say who it's to, that's fine.
It says it's to the AFNI worker.
And in the course of your investigation, did you identify that person?
Yes.
And who is that?
Raphael Suarez Portfolios, something similar like that. I probably butchered the name. The message, the instant message reads, "Now waiting for kids to leave."
And Judge, I'm going to try to get us through this faster, so if Attorney Zacher has an objection to how I'm going to introduce this next message, I can revert to what we're doing. But Sergeant, in the next line, 258, is that another message from Ms. Dikeman to Raphael stating that the two oldest are going with my mom tonight?
Yes.
Can I, just time frame, just give the time.
Oh, I apologize, Your Honor. And that was at 9:07 and 11 seconds PM, correct?
36 seconds.
Oh, I apologize, 36 seconds. Is that correct?
Yes.
I am going to let you read the next one again. If you can turn to page 21 and tell us what is in, or the content of the information at line 275.
It's an instant message outgoing dated February 10th of 2023 at 9:21 and 19 seconds PM from Josie Dikeman to the AFNI worker stating, "No, my mom just got done with work and picked them up."
So according to Ms. Dikeman's statement here, by 9:21 PM approximately, the children who were going with her mom that night had been picked up. Is that correct?
Yes.
We will go now to page 34, line 445, please.
Can you repeat the line number?
Absolutely, 445.
This is a call log outgoing dated February 11th of 2023 at 9:21 and 40 seconds AM to mom, and it lasted for 52 seconds.
And you know Ms. Dikeman's mom to be Becky Ehlers, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you then go to line 446?
This is a call log. It is outgoing from February 11th, 2023 at 9:25 and 51 seconds AM to 911 for 4 minutes and 28 seconds.
Thank you. The best part of your job, right?
Yes.
If I can have you now go to exhibit 122.
Could you repeat the number?
122. Is this Celebrate extraction specifically related to the instant messages between Ms. Dikeman and Raphael on the date of February 10th, 2023?
Yes.
And on the first page of this document, does it indicate how many messages go between Ms. Dikeman and Raphael in this time period?
106.
And can you indicate by referring to line 1 what time the first message is sent?
Sure. The first message is sent on February 10th, 2023 at 6:18 and 53 seconds PM.
We can then turn to page 10. In referring to line 105, tell us what time the last message in this time period was sent or received.
February 10th, 2023 at 11:44 and 55 seconds p.m.
Your Honor, I'm not sure if I moved for the admission of 122, but I would do that.
Okay. Received with the same objections. If there were objections, I can't remember on that one.
Now, referring to Exhibit 123, is this the portion of the Cellbrite extraction related to Ms. Dikeman's instant messages with Raphael on the 11th of February, 2023?
Yes.
And does it indicate at the top on the timeline how many messages there are in this record?
58.
And is this a true and accurate record of the data that was provided in the Cellbrite extraction?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 123.
Received.
Sergeant, between can you indicate, I'm going to have you turn to line 44. Can you indicate what time that message is sent or received?
It's an instant message, which is outgoing from Josie Dikeman's phone, February 11th, 2023 at 1:55 and 22 seconds a.m.
At 28 seconds a.m.?
Line 44.
49, I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's line 48. It's an incoming instant message, February 11th, 2023 at 1:57 and 3 seconds a.m.
And then line 44 has a timestamp of 1:57 and 28 seconds. Is that correct?
Line 44.
49.
49. Yes.
And then is there a long break in the messages between message 49 and message 50?
Yes.
So does this record reflect that between midnight and the 11th of February and 1:57 and 28 seconds on the 11th of February, represented by message 40, there were 49 messages back and forth?
Yes.
And then if you can refer to line 50 and tell us what the specific content of that line is, including what the message was.
It's an instant message which is incoming to Josie Dikeman's phone on February 11th, 2023 at 9:17 and 29 seconds a.m. from Raphael stating, "Good morning, pretty."
Does Ms. Dikeman then respond in message 51?
Yes.
And can you tell us the time of that message and what she says?
February 11th, 2023, Josie Dikeman responds at 9:20 and 25 seconds a.m. "Good morning. Don't come yet. I have an emergency with my son."
Can you tell us the time and the content of the message she then sends in line 52?
In line 52, February 11th, 2023, at 9:20 and 35 seconds a.m., Josie Dikeman sends to Raphael, "I'm sorry, honey, hold on."
Have you then moved to line 54? Is that a incoming message from Raphael?
Yes.
And can you please give us the timestamp of that and what the content is?
9:31 and 12 seconds a.m. Did something bad happen to your son? Question mark.
And then does Ms. Dikeman respond in line 55?
Yes.
Can you give us the content of that response and the time of it?
9:50 and 48 seconds a.m. Josie Dikeman responds, yes, he just died in his sleep.
Going to move on now to Exhibit 126, Sergeant. Is this a Meta Platforms business record related to Facebook messages between Ms. Dikeman and Laura Lee at that time, Rains?
Yes.
Is this a accurate reflection of the data that your investigative agency received regarding these messages and this data?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move for the admission of Exhibit 126.
Without objection.
Received. What? That will need to be 126A.
My favorite thing to do.
Yep.
I can then have you look at Exhibit 127. Is this a summary of the content contained in Exhibit 126?
Yes.
And is it a fair and accurate summary of the communication records that were contained in 126?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of Exhibit 127, request to publish.
Go ahead and publish.
Uh,
It'll be received too.
Thank you, Judge. Ready when you are. Investigator, can you please read for the jury the messages that are depicted in this exhibit?
At 8:24 a.m., Laura Lee Rains sends to Josie Dikeman, look what I found for Naomi. At 9:06 a.m., Josie Dikeman replies, that's cute. At 9:35 a.m., Laura Lee Rains replies back to Josie Dikeman, great for a sensory. At 12:35 p.m., Laura Lee Rains sends to Josie Dikeman, how did this happen? He was fine last night.
Investigator, we'll move on to Exhibit 128, please. Sergeant, sorry, now I'm...
It's fine, doesn't matter.
Can you please identify what we're looking at here?
This is a communication timeline between Laura Lee Rains, Josie Dikeman, and Raphael Jose. All right, I'm sorry, I misspoke there. So it's a communication timeline where you have Raphael, Josie Dikeman, Laura Lee Rains, Becky Ehlers, and 911.
And does it represent the period of time between 8:24 and 31 seconds and 9:50 and 48 seconds in the morning related to February 11th, 2023?
Yes.
And does this summary reflect the communication data that we just went through with great detail?
Yes.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of both what your testimony was and what the underlying exhibits demonstrated?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of 128 and request to publish it.
Yeah, received.
And then just briefly, I don't think we need to go into the content of the messages, Sergeant, but can you relay the times and the nature of the content for each of these lines?
The first two lines are reference the conversation between Laura Lee and Josie Dikeman that I spoke about between 8:24 and 9:06 a.m. There's the 9:17 message from Raphael to Josie Dikeman, along with her response at 9:20 and 7 seconds back to Raphael with the emergency. 9:20 and 35 seconds, she messages him again just to hold on. 9:21, Josie Dikeman calls her mother, Rebecca Ehlers, and talks for 52 seconds. Then roughly 4 minutes and 11 seconds at 9:25:51, Josie Dikeman calls 911, is on the phone for 4 minutes and 28 seconds. Raphael communicates with Josie Dikeman at 9:31. Did something bad happen to your son? Josie Dikeman responds to that message at 9:50 a.m., saying, yes, he just died in his sleep.
Yeah. Sergeant, something I failed to bring up a few exhibits back is, do you recall the messages related to Ms. Dikeman and her mother dated May 11th of 2021?
I would have to get my memory refreshed on that.
Want to look at Exhibit 117, that should still be in front of you, page 5.
I have that exhibit now.
And specifically, Ms. Dikeman says, I'm picking up mine. I have 30 and can get a refill in 4 days after surgery. Is that an accurate representation of what the content of that is?
Yes.
And do you recall, Investigator, when you were publishing the exhibit related to the CHAPS bag and the medication inside of it?
Yes.
And do you recall looking at the label of the oxycodone in that bag?
Yes.
Do you recall the approximate time period that prescription was issued to Ms. Dikeman?
I believe it was May 2021.
I can have you turn now, we're going to go back in time again a little bit to Exhibit 118, please.
Which number, please?
118.
Okay.
Can you tell me what we're looking at here?
This is a Celebrite extraction report from Josie Dikeman's iPhone.
And what times or dates does this include in this portion of the extraction?
From 1/16 of 2023 at 8:05 p.m. through 1/16 of 2023 to 8:18 p.m.
And does this specifically relate to searched items?
Correct.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of the data that was extracted from Ms. Dikeman's phone?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of Exhibit 118.
Received.
Sergeant, if you can just go through and tell us for each line the time of the search and then the description of the search.
Sure. All of these searches, the source is Safari. And 8:05, 23 seconds p.m., Josie Dikeman searched battered child syndrome. At 8:15 and 20 seconds p.m., the search for ED evaluation. 8:17 and 16 seconds, the search was code status, full code. At 8:18 and 20 seconds, the search was for code status DNR. At 8:18 and 46 seconds p.m., code status with a capital D. At 8:18 and 46 seconds p.m., code status DNR/DNI.
And Sergeant, are you aware of what was occurring in Ms. Dikeman's life during the period of time she was making these searches on the 16th of January, 2023?
I believe that was the time frame that Alexavier Pedrin was at Gunderson Hospital.
Your Honor, I still do have, I think, too much to push through today.
Okay.
I can be as brief as possible on Monday, but I think we should let everybody rest.
All right. So we will conclude for today. I should never say what I hope would happen, but we will get things done as soon as we can next, starting Monday, and then we'll go to the other side of the case. So again, like I said last Friday, if it's possible, try to forget about things, do something enjoyable, get away from this for a bit. If you need something, you let us know. My hope is to have some more treats for you next week, by the way. But have a good weekend. Don't talk about anything. Don't try to look anything up. If you happen to see it, try just to move on. Much national news. Just kidding. But try to relax. And again, thank you so much. It's been a long 2 weeks. A little bit more to go, 2/3 there. So we'll go from there. All right, we'll see you on Monday. Same time, 8:30. We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that. All right, you can step down. Everybody have a seat. We'll start up 8:30 Monday morning. Do have witnesses ready. We're going to try to go by the afternoon, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how much longer the state has with Sergeant Amundson. I'm obviously going to have some cross-examination.
Right. So I would expect if we're going to have defense witnesses, we'd start in the afternoon is my hope. If there's a way to shorten things up, I'd appreciate it. In the end, actually, I'll just say this, maybe I'm wrong, but in the end, that actually went relatively quickly through what we finally decided. I don't think that much was excluded. Is there anything the state wants to bring to my attention?
Judge, the only thing I would ask the defense to get back to me on is the pathologist that they're bringing in, the defense expert pathologist. In their original notice, they said that they were blaming both Mr. Pedrin and someone they identified as child number 1 I don't believe they ever pursued that in a Denny, and but I just want to be prepared about what this pathologist is going to testify to in the underlying factual basis for his opinion. So I'd ask Attorney Bowles to get back to me on, I don't think there's any other acts being brought in regarding a child either. So,
I think there's certainly some context evidence that might come in to explain some of these injuries regarding child number one, but we only brought the Denny with respect to Mr. Pedron.
all right, we can address that next week, but.
Okay.
And Judge, on that note, I informed the state that Dr. Christensen's flying in from Salt Lake City for Wednesday, and it's my understanding the state is agreeing that we can drop what we're doing with whatever witness happens to be on the stand to get Dr. Christensen back to his flight.
Yeah, so he's flying in Wednesday and fly out on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's flying in on Tuesday evening, but we're hoping to do him Wednesday morning.
Right, okay. Yeah, well, let's,
It's their case, I'm fine with that.
yeah. Okay, anything else from the state?
No.
Make sure we have all the exhibits from the state, anything from the defense tonight.
Yeah, we have some exhibits over here. Judge, just to reiterate on the record, I maintain the same objections with the content that was just introduced, but I didn't object individually to save us time.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to say that the same objections. The only thing is I didn't say it when I thought they didn't apply, but yeah, I assumed you would have piped up and said. If what I'll say is that what we talked about in the break, the objections you lodged were continuing, I understand. And so if there's any question about why you didn't raise it again when it brought up again, for the record to be clear, you were following what I was suggesting, that you had objections, they were continuing objections, as you said. State have any objection to how that was done?
No, it saved time, it was
Yeah.
expedient.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
if we needed it clear in the record, that's what was.
No, yeah, I just wanted to ensure that it was clear on the record.
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay, having said that, enjoy your weekends best you can. We will see you back here at 8:30. I do buy the jurors some treats from a bakery once or twice a week, so that's what the reference was.
That's awesome.
All right. So, take care. Thank you.
The bakery inside or outside of Lacrosse, Judge?
Linda's.
Meringue.
Oh,
Oh, right. Oh, I was gonna say, like, Linda's is my personal favorite.
No, it's, okay. Meringue.